Just make me feel stupid, like why do I want to travel here?
How are you guys doing? I hope that you're doing all right. Welcome back to the channel. So this Asian American woman you've just seen, she was complaining that she had a bad experience in France, and she said this is someone who's very social, but then she's feeling like stupid of herself, like I wasted my money having come on here because of how I'm being treated, like you as you hit the line at the beginning. She's explained that the experience in all its totality has just let her feel very like separated from everybody, and it's not making sense, and especially that you don't speak French, these people can be rude and etc. And then so there's some people who have stitched this video and are saying that you really shouldn't have any expectations, like you should have low expectations when you go to France, because I mean those people can just be in their own business and do not care what you think or whatever they're going to say to you, especially if you don't speak English, French. They hate it. So in this situation, a lady, you can hear she feels even racially profiled every now and then with her experience of 6 days in France. Now, I don't know how some people are gonna come on and say you should expect less of a place. Anyway, before I put in my commentary, it's gonna come at the end. Let me roll the clips and then I'll be back.
Just make me feel stupid, like why do I want to travel here? I don't know how I feel about this. I'm just filming this video here. I don't know, it just make me feel stupid, like why do I want to travel here? I don't know how I feel about this. I'm just filming this video here in Lyon, France. It's my first time visiting. To be honest, the experience is very isolating. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful city. To see and to discover, but I don't recommend for solo traveler or people or someone who doesn't speak French, because it's a very isolating experience. People here, they seem very indifferent. I had no problem meeting people and socializing in general in Italy or even in Germany. People tend to be colder. I had no problem whatsoever because I'm a very social person, but in France the experience is very different. I feel very isolated. It's just, yeah, people make you feel bad for not knowing their culture or speaking their language. I haven't really met anybody in here. I've been here for 5-6 days now. I almost feel stupid for coming here, spending money. I even bought a French hat. I'm here to learn, to explore, but the experience is just, I don't know. I don't really like it. I don't know, it just make me feel stupid, like why do I want to travel here? I don't know, it just make me feel stupid, like why do I want to travel?
I felt so bad for this creator. I felt the need to stitch it. If you haven't seen that video yet, I suggest you watch it. She's American, traveling in France. She doesn't speak any French, and she feels as though the French are not being very nice. They're rude, they're indifferent, and it's kind of ruining her experience. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. The problem that I have is that video is getting stitched by French people saying, well, if you go to France or Italy, lower your expectation. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses there. Italy, Italians are not like the French. They are not on their high horse with this shishi poo poo attitude that their shit doesn't stink. You go to Italy and you speak English in Italy, they are not going to have a problem with you. This is why I love Italians. Being an American in Italy, I have never experienced someone being disrespectful or rude to me because I was speaking to them in English. Italians are extremely educated when it comes to English, and over 70% of their economy is based on the service industry. So most Italians know the basic level of English in order to communicate with their customers who come from all over the world. And in the event you do meet somebody who doesn't speak any English, they won't make it work. They're not going to say to you, you're in Italy, speak Italian. That's never going to come out of their mouth. They will figure out a way to communicate with you, even if it means moving through body language. They don't care. If you say grazie, right, even with a terrible American accent, they're like, wow, that's awesome. You did such a great job. That's how Italians are. So take the Italians and cross it off that list. They are not the French. And to the original creator, I invite you to come to Italy and I will take you around myself.
I don't know, it just make me feel stupid, you know, like.
Well, I've been to France a couple of times. I have family and friends living there. French people are not the most welcoming, that's true. And I might sound biased, but I feel like the most welcoming population you might find in France are Africans, because there are a lot of Africans in France. But to say that France is a bad country to visit, I don't agree with that. It's not that they're mean, they're not just welcoming. And maybe France was one of these countries you were not meant to visit by yourself. Because there are countries where you need people with you to have a better experience. And going there by yourself was maybe not the best choice you made.
It just make me feel stupid, you know, like, why do I want to travel here?
If you're traveling to France, lower your expectations. Let me explain. Now, no shade to this creator in particular. She seems really lovely and she is obviously upset she's had a really crap experience in France, and I hope she has a better one in the future. This just comes on top of a lot of videos I've been seeing on my For You page of usually Americans coming to travel to Italy or to France, usually Western Europe, and just having a bad time. And as a French person living abroad, I just wanted to give some perspective as to why that may be. First things first, if you're expecting your travel to France to be like Emily in Paris, don't. You will be disappointed because it's not reality. Secondly, people don't owe you anything. That may be harsh to hear, but you're on your holiday, but people are still living their daily life, going to work, having issues with their partners, with their children, with their family, with co-workers. You know, there's a political crisis, financial crisis in France. It's not all glamorous and pretty and everyone's happy, not at all. You need to remember that, because people don't owe you a good time when you come over on your holiday. Number 3, don't assume everyone speaks English. A lot of Europeans do, but if you just rock up to someone, in the street asking for directions in English without making the effort to say at least hello, excuse me, do you speak English in the language, even if it's on your phone on like a translator app, that's fine. If you don't make the effort, you will come off as rude and entitled, and then people won't want to be nice to you. And in France in particular, politeness, or at least perceived politeness, is very important. If you enter a shop, you have to say hello. Just ask Natalie Portman. If you stop someone in the street to ask for directions, you have to say hello, excuse me. If you don't, you just go, hey, how do you go to this place? That is super, super rude, and you will be perceived as a rude person. And why would we be nice to a rude person? It's all perspective. I'm not saying you're intending to be rude. It's just a cultural difference. And I'm not saying that's what this creator has been doing. Not at all. I don't know. But that's just something I see very often. And it's a shame because it's just getting lost in translation, literally. So my advice, if you want to travel to France or Italy or any, similar countries, is lower your expectations, meaning don't expect people to behave exactly how you want them to behave or how you expect them to behave. Do your research, or at least keep an open mind, and just be willing to learn that a different way of life, a different way of thinking is okay. And you're on your holiday, locals or not, they don't owe you anything, and you're the one coming to their country, so you're the one who has to make the effort. But overall, If you make those tiny little efforts of just saying hello in French before talking to someone, especially if they'll hear an accent, we think it's really cute. If you make the effort, it will go such a long way, I promise you. Now, remember, France is the most visited country in the world, I believe. So tourists are there, always, everywhere. So a lot of people, especially in big cities, can get tired of it. You need to understand that. I'm not saying it's fair for you, for anyone, but that's just reality. So don't take it personally when you perceive people to be rude, because they might not intend to be rude. It might just be, a cultural difference. And it might be that they're having a bad day and you're the 10th tourist in a row to ask them the same thing in English, and they're just tired of it. Just some food for thought and a different perspective. But overall, to this creator, I hope you have a really good time in Europe. I hope you go back to France and to my hometown, Lyon, and that you have a better time, because I'm really gutted you had a bad experience there. It's a really nice city with really nice people, I promise. So yeah, I hope you have a better time next time.
I don't know.
As a travel expert, solo travel advocate, and your travel bestie, I definitely have some thoughts on this one. Go and watch her full video. She was doing a solo trip through France and was not really enjoying her time, specifically in Lyon, France. I personally took my first solo trip to Paris, France. And I really think that there's a sort of like mental preparation that you have to do before solo travel. It's really kind of twofold. One, be open to meeting new people, explore new cultures, and letting like the fabulousness of the destination in. And being okay with the fact that you may not meet anyone. You may not make a friend in this country. You may get me mugged. When I solo travel, I kind of go into it with a mentality of expecting nothing and hopeful for everything. But I really commend her for really showing her authentic experience, because a very important part of solo travel is learning things about yourself. I know for me, I can go on a solo trip and meet 0 people. I can go on a solo trip and meet 100 people. I'm gonna have a good time regardless. But that is me. Some people are like, I want to solo travel, but I want to meet people to explore this journey with me, even though I'm here alone. And I think that there are destinations that are better suited for people that want to solo travel in that way. If you're interested in solo travel or want tips on solo travel, definitely give me a follow.
And take it as
It just make me feel stupid, like, why do I want to travel?
this is gonna be my personal opinion, so take it as a grain of salt. I was in France for like a little handful of days, and the time that I was there, did not care for it. The people that we engaged with, -1, and they were not French, were not kind, generous, nice, cordial, any of those things, which I get it. But yeah, I would say like -2 out of 10. The coolest part was going and seeing the Eiffel Tower. It really wasn't even as cool as I thought it was going to be. I hate to say it like that. But also it is a main point when flying to Morocco to go to Paris first and transfer. And I will pay a few $100 extra to not go into Paris next time, because it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. It's not worth the hype.
It just make me Experience is very isolating.
Okay, so I'm French. I live in Lyon, which is the town she was visiting. And let me tell you something. I don't think you understand how much French people do lack of empathy. And that's maybe why we may seem rude to you, we may seem cold, but really it's all about empathy and compassion, which does not exist here. And especially in Lyon. Lyon isn't that famous, but people living in Lyon are worse than Parisians. Even I have hard times making friends, getting to know people, meeting new people, build trust in my relationships. So I cannot even imagine how tourists see us. You also have to understand that Emily in Paris is the opposite of living in France. Like, Frenchmen are not romantic at all. And it just amazes me how you have so much expectations of France. Where does it come from? Every French people you will meet will tell you the same thing. We love our country, we love our culture. We just don't love the people there. People over here just don't know empathy. They will let you cry alone in the street and pass over you and not even look at you. And yeah, this is definitely a French thing. You have a problem, it's your problem. I don't mind it. I wouldn't recommend to come to France all alone. You will meet certain people, of course, but do not expect people coming to you. You have to get to them. You have to appear polite. You have to appear like you have good intentions. Maybe then they will open a little bit. But yeah, even I as a French person, I hesitated a lot before asking some kind of pieces of information to someone in the streets, because I know that the side eye that will give me French is in such a bad place at the moment, as a lot of other countries, but the country is suffering, the people is suffering. You have low vibrations here in France. I think if you're spiritual, get it and get what I'm talking about. Just lower your expectations. France isn't what it used to be. France will never be what you expect it to be. Just go enjoy the food, go enjoy the landscapes, go enjoy the music. But the people, don't cry over them, because they literally don't care, because they do not have empathy.
The experience is very isolating.
Okay, so I'm French.
Guys, what does not sit right with me is the fact that even French people are stitching this, and they're saying that people must lower their expectations. And when they visit there, and that other person was explaining that people are going through things and having these issues at work and whatever. Like, who's not going through things in this world? You can just be as kind, right? And then the person who says you're gonna go in the street and be like, hey, they're gonna think that it's rude and everything. Like, sometimes it just goes down to the tone of voice and how you're saying things. A culture is a culture. If those people are acting rude and whatever, those are the things that have been communicated to them. It's the same thing with white supremacy. It's the same thing with white supremacy, because you look a certain way, because you don't speak their language, so they think whatever and they can treat you anyhow. Because what would cause somebody to cry like that, like a big human being to cry like that? Anyway, maybe we should pick the advice of not expecting anything like they are saying, but the fact that it's them who are saying, like the French people are saying, do not expect lower expectations from us, is what is not okay. Like, what's the attitude with that? Yeah, I don't know how you guys find what is going on here, but definitely I'll just take the advice of that solo traveler, where I shouldn't really expect much when I go anywhere. Like just leave some reservation for some sort of I don't know if I can say disappointment, or not so much of what is happening. Otherwise, you guys, let me know what you think about this experience for this woman. Have you been racially profiled? And whenever you went to France, those that have been to France before, let me know in the comment section. Or heard stories, let me know in the comment section. But even Italians are known to be alright to the cyst, even though that lady came on and said would be happy and everything. Collectively, they're known to be alright to the cyst. I know that there could be good people out there, but how many? Yeah, so guys, comment below. Remember to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like so that more people can watch it. It will get recommended to them. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.